And this is going to be put on my YouTube channel. You guys can go back and watch any previous revenue share huddles, as well as any trainings. If you just go ahead and Google my name in YouTube or search my name in YouTube, you'll find it. And we're just really using that as a place to house these recordings, so that if you did want to share this with somebody that doesn't have access to Workplace, you can do that. And so as a reminder, every Monday at this time, same link, same time, we bring in guests and we talk about revenue share success, however that might look for you and what your goals are. And Becky is kind of a co-leader of this with me, also Alyssa, who is not here today. And so we're kind of doing a rotation of leading these. And then on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we have trainings that also most of the time guests are coming in and speaking, many who are fellow EXP family tree realtors, but also people from outside of the industry as well as outside of EXP are coming in. We're just looking for talented people that like to give back to other realtors. And so that's what that's all about. And we are doing that every Tuesday, Wednesday, which is just an hour later, same link, same place. And those are also recorded and put on YouTube. So please join us on all of those things. And thanks for your participation. Don't forget, how you engage in here is how you engage everywhere. And it makes a difference in your business. So Susanna Kunkel, and am I saying your name right? Is it Susanna, Susanna? Can you please tell me what you prefer?
Well, Susanna sounds so much more exotic, but either way, it's fine.
But it is Susanna. Okay. You just never know. I feel like I say what I think it is, and then I'm like always wrong. And I'm like, I should probably just ask. So she actually has, I've been meeting Susanna through some of our leadership calls that we've been doing in EXP Family Tree because of Keely and Rich. And Susanna has just an inspiring story, but also a tremendous amount of experience. And we were talking on work chat, and she shared that she has some insights to revenue share, more from us systems, or just an efficiency and effectiveness, onboarding and getting people engaged in really the recruiting process. And I thought, well, this is great because this isn't a conversation we've really had recently. It's more about going out there and how to have conversations with people. But what do we do once we do that? How do we truly have a process around it? How do we engage people? How do we use some systems, just like we do in business, to make us more successful? And so I think that's what our conversation is going to be around today. I'm going to let Susanna take it away, and it can be very conversational. Susanna, you can share your screen, whatever you prefer. I know you're going to bring us value, and I just want you to do it in your comfort level. And then we can engage, ask questions as always, and just make this valuable for everybody. And I really appreciate you coming on and doing this and offering to. It's really, really exciting.
Well, thank you so much. You all have been so supportive of inspiring with revenue share. And I'm kind of I'm a kid in terms of building my revenue share, still fairly new to EXP. But what I saw was a need to leverage, all about leverage, right? Leverage technology. And and I know I felt like I'm drinking from a fire hose when I joined, right? And I know you all have put together a lot of information. So I'm trying to think, how can we use what we have to make it easier and also more replicatable? Like my big goal, I have a small group, but they're going too deep. Like my level 2s and level 3s are developing out because I want to empower the agents I work with. And my personal goal, Chris knows, I want everyone in my organization to be at 5,000 a month revenue share, at least. So I'm building down as well, also building wide, so I want to make sure that even the brand new agents feel empowered. And of course we have to use leverage because I have to produce. I'm still on the street, So
that's a good point. Before we move into this, I just wanted to share, Susanna is still selling real estate. She is newer to EXP, but she's identified that she knows that this is a blessing for herself and for others. So how do I make it more sustainable for all of us, more effective and efficient for all of us, which we can all learn from? I'm very excited. Before we go into that, I think it's really important, if you're willing to share anything just about your personal story and why, because you shared something with me a while back in a chat that was like, why this is really important to you. And I think we all have to figure out why it's important to us to be motivated to actually figure out how to do it. And you don't have to go into all the details, but why did you come to EXP and why is revenue share important to you? And why is it important to you to help other people build it to find these systems? I do think it's really important to share that with people if you're open to it. I know I'm putting you on the spot. Whatever level you'd like. And then from there, kind of what you've identified in your time to make it more effective and efficient would be amazing.
Sure, I'd love to. And also just in terms of disclosure, I'm not an expert. I'm not a technology expert. One of my secret sauces, I call it a hacker. I grew up in farm country. We didn't have AAA. You have to have duct tape and baling wire and make things work, right? So I kind of MacGyver things, and that's kind of what I do is I take a lot of stuff and I'm like, how can I MacGyver this into something that's going to be easier, which is what we're talking about today.
Love it.
It's all MacGyver. It's not, there are people to go to as experts, but I'm more of a MacGyver.
I love that.
So yeah, I had shared with you and with Keely and some other people personally. I've been in the business since 2004. In 2016, I was diagnosed with, I had breast cancer back in 2005. In 2016, I was diagnosed with stage 4 throat cancer. And my doctor told me, I worked for KW at the time, that I needed to take 6 months disability. I'm like, what?
I don't have disability. Yeah, right. What
Like,
is that?
well, what's that? What? No, and so I went through surgery, which unfortunately it had spread. So I needed radiation and it became a long journey. And especially because it was throat cancer, I had like 2nd-degree burns on the exterior and interior of my throat. Like it took me, I refused to get a feeding tube. So I was stubborn. It would take me an hour and a half to eat, some cottage cheese. So it was hard for me to talk. I literally was working through all of that as best I could, trying to keep deals together from the hospital bed sometimes. And, it was financially devastating as well as, all the physical and emotional, like what I look at now, and some other people have shared their stories. I won't put them on the spot, but if I had been at EXP, if I had had revenue share, if I had had healthcare even, because when I was diagnosed, my healthcare didn't cover the surgery. So we waited till January. We waited 3 months, which it probably spread at that time, which meant I had to have radiation. So for so many levels, this is where my passion for revenue share is about helping people. I heard Brent saying when he goes by Global Banker and stuff, he almost feels like crying for the agents. I joined EXP because I see it as not only because of the revenue share, but because in this market, in this time, it's the only business model that makes sense for today's market and the future, just even from a technology standpoint, let alone when I saw where the money was going was a bell that I couldn't unring. I didn't leave my KW office because I didn't like the people, but I need to create, I'm rebuilding financially. My passion is to leave a platform of multi-generational wealth for my daughter and grandsons. And, after all this, I should be retired at this point, but it's like starting over has kept me young at heart because it's like I have to think like a 21-year-old.
And you know what? You have such a passion for it because you are coming from a place of, gosh, if I would have done that sooner, this could look different for me. So now I want to make sure people realize that your story is not only inspiring because a lot of people wouldn't have gone through what you went through and continued to be able to do what you did, but also it's a reminder to all of us that it's like easy to just keep doing our business the way we're doing and not thinking outside of the box and just thinking transaction to transaction to transaction. But in any second, we may not have the opportunity to do every transaction. And as real estate entrepreneurs, no other brokerage is helping us have any other tools or revenue shares or income streams rather, or even wealth building opportunities. We're just stuck with the transactions. And it's a very scary place to be. And to your point, it can be extremely financially devastating. I know so many people who have gone through medical issues with themselves or a family member. To your point, starting over for sure. Definitely not having anything left to show for it. Absolutely. And if we can help other people not go down that path, what a blessing.
And I especially think there are a lot of younger agents that I know in my area, and it's like they could retire in 5 years. What are they going to do? And I looked at where is the wealth going? Is it going for your kids, for their kids? Where is it going? So I also honestly, in full disclosure, I don't have the energy I used to have. So I'm really focused on working smart, leveraging technology, trying to not be traveling around quite so much, not trying to be how to be in production. And I love the collaborative culture of EXP. Like as I grow my group here locally, it's hard for me to share a listing with, although I'd love to go over to Kauai. It gives me an excuse to travel. But with some of the agents more locally who I have in like Pennsylvania and New Jersey, we can collaborate. I could do a co-listing. We can share buyer leads. So it's a very tangible, it's really supporting a creative group. I'm a solo agent, but it gives me a platform for a creative, collaborative, unique kind of group dynamic or team dynamic, in addition to that. So
that's awesome.
So you want me to show you some of my hacks?
Yes. So this is why Susanna has come into EXP and become so passionate about helping others come here and creating this creative collaborative group, which we all have the opportunity for reasons. And I just think this is a good conversation for you guys to think about. This is why maybe EXP for some people too. This might really ring true with them. And if we can help people in this way, I think it's great. So Susanna, tell us about some of the efficiencies, because whether we have the energy or not, we should all be leveraging more. That's the truth of the matter.
Well, I'm going to give you some things you can use too. Let me just type it in here real quick. In
the chat box?
One of my hacks, I use GoDaddy for redirects to make things easy to find.
Oh yeah.
So I bought exploreexpwithme.com.
Cool.
What happened was one of my business partners, Dion, who, is one of my level ones, went to EXPCon with me this year. And when I came home, I was really inspired it's nothing like seeing the company in action. I've been with EXP a year when we went to EXPCon. So coming home from that, I'm going to share a screen here. I believe this is working. I don't want to, is it okay? I put, we use Trello boards, probably in your state, Pennsylvania uses a Trello board as an easy way to have a lot of information. So one of the first things I did was create a Trello board, like a multi-dimensional bookmark. So depending on whom I'm talking to or what their interest is, I've shared the Trello board, but I don't think, just like people don't watch videos on their own, it's really more helpful to have as links to reference, in terms of, and it's so easy to pack it. I have a lot, like I put in here recently, the introduction in Spanish. I have here some of Rich's videos and different things, different voices. I try to make it also very diverse because I want to have a voice, whether it's the different, here's the XP family tree, promoting that, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's the diversity of the business structure, culturally, location, all of that. So, I have these meet other agents as a chance to highlight a variety of voices. Here's Keely's story, which is really inspiring to me. Just to empower myself too. Hey, I'm talking to a small brokerage. Oh, here, check them out. I have to highlight, he was going to try and jump in here because we're going to get into some things about KB Core, and I have to give full props to Anthony. I've been learning them in his mastermind. So go there and become a part of his group because he's really helped me unpack KB Core. So I had a couple of people ask me to teach them how to do this. I just really don't have the time for that, but you're welcome to use it. I do have our introduction, Dion and I are in here, but you'd really, really have to dig to find our link to join. I don't think there's any risk of somebody joining under us by accident. You can use this as a bookmark for yourself. Feel free to share it. It's open for everyone. Okay.
Awesome.
And then
even if you guys just used it for your own purposes to share your screen and then just pick the areas that you want to show, in your own appointment, I think it would be quite valuable.
How do you get access to this, Cari? Or Susanna, excuse me.
The
It's
link, right?
open public, so you should be able, the redirect is exploreexpwithme.com.
Oh, got it. Okay, I
And
got it.
it's public, so anyone should be able to access it. And yeah, you can just find the links that you want and then embed from there, you know.
Yep.
So one of the things I've been learning as I go, and to your point, what I was learning on how to do custom pages with my KV Core, what I've done is build those same links into custom pages.
Yeah.
So because I found Trello boards, yeah, there can be a little awkward. So the same thing in terms of like a GoDaddy forward, and I was going to show you, I'm going to get a little geeky on you, I guess, but I don't want to, you know, you too much. Let's see, I tried to have this queued up. Hold on. But anyway, let me show you the end result, and then I'll show you how to get there. So you can do any number of custom pages in your KV Core. And this also helps with your SEO. I turned off the kind of generic that comes with the package about EXP. I turned that off and I created all these pages. What these do is they just, this one doesn't. This one I have forwarding to commercial because that in particular I thought was really powerful.
Mhm.
But like crypto real estate, what that does is forward to the link in my Trello board.
Mhm.
So again, if you want to do this, they're not going to know it's Susanna Kunkel's Trello board, you know, but this
Right.
is a way that you could use. And, you
The
know, maybe I'll,
links.
yeah, very quickly and easily create some custom pages. Now, once I kind of geeked out on that, then I figured out I wanted to make this one, EXP, explained a little more in depth, you know, where it's a little bit more of my voice with some videos highlighted, you know, so I do an introduction here. This was a video I did for a blog post like last year, but recycle, reduce, reuse,
Yep.
recycle, right?
Mhm.
Embedding that, and then a couple different videos. One that I did about sponsorship. I've got Keely, I've got Rich, and then a recent, and then you can change this, but it's just
Yeah.
about learning how to, you have to know a little bit of HTML. You know, I'm just, again, I only know from hacking, but not, you know, not formally, but it's really not too hard. And, you know, you can see all the different pages. Now, when you go through Anthony's training, you know, I know Glenn mentioned chatbot, and what I've done on the content here is all these custom pages. What I did too was I went into chatbot and did some research on what people are looking for, and I added that. Even though this is a redirect,
Mhm.
see, there's no content, it's just forwarded here to my Trello board. Oh, this one is a bad example, it's the commercial. Here in the keywords, I used what I found on chatbot.
Mhm.
So all of these pages that are YEXP right now have sort of the same, these were the chatbot keywords that were identified.
Yeah.
And then you can add your name too, because, you know, not that people are looking for Susanna Kunkel, but I want
Yeah.
people who are Googling, like, why should I join EXP, to increase the chance that they will find you.
Mhm.
So it's really not hard. It's just learning. And, you know, Anthony's group is great. He has all kinds of resources. If you're new to KV Core, one of my tips is start here. Case in point with that, I'll show you another thing I put together. When new agents come, you know, like, how do you support, if you're growing your organization, how do I make sure each agent feels supported and I'm still able to, you know, cold call, listing appointments, et cetera, right? So I've become a big fan of Google Slides here. I've been using them for some marketing reports and so on. So what I did was I created this, and this is not, it's customized to my voice. I just want to show it to you. You can do it very, very easily.
Mhm.
But to share with my new agents, you know,
Yeah.
a link goes right to, there's all kinds of links,
Mhm.
but this is to give them a warm welcome with links embedded.
Mhm.
And like what to do first, right?
Yeah.
Do the world tour, highlight, although you get all these to-dos, it's still overwhelming. In fact, Crystal and I just went over this the other night. It's kind of like she's in that being overwhelmed with new stuff. The education calendar, this software is super, super easy. Cari, you shared this. This is so helpful. I have, just even for myself to reference, like when Chris was coming on board, she got stuck in a black hole. I called them, I use this for easy reference, right? It's very easy. Also, if you upload anything to Google Drive, uploading a video or photo is super, super easy. So when I have different photos or videos or things that maybe to help an agent, don't just help the one agent, think about helping one-on-one, but help just like we do with our smart CRM, in making one-to-one conversations, 1 to 1,000, right? By using technology. And here I've highlighted, some of the add-on features that are my favorites for my area, being able to look for local logic and the videos. I did that through Zoom, where it just record the screen record and then trim it down to a clip, right? This is Anthony on Workplace. He has put together an amazing resource. He's fairly new to EXP, comes from a tech background. Like we're talking about, he saw a need and he's been filling it with just amazing support on KV Core for free. And then he has this service like I signed up for $25 a month, access to all his trainings, like forever. And then the mentor program, I have a couple mentees now, so I wanted to have easy access. And this is a gem I found out through becoming certified. The video list for mentees is amazing for anyone, and they're great resources. This is me personally. I didn't do this, signing up for just memberships. So having this as a reminder, and like Crystal, I keep pointing you out, but they don't have a Regis office on Kauai, but she goes to Oahu sometimes. Right. So being able to use it is important. Signing up for healthcare. Again, I'm like, don't do it my way. I want you to do it the smart way. I didn't do that until this year, and it's just amazing. So also talking about marketing to help people understand where they can go. The EXP is so much information and it's amazing, but it's easy to feel like you can get lost. So having things put together where your newer agents and even ourselves can quickly go to the resource is what this does, and make people feel confident. Also, this is something that for me, I feel like I can share with somebody who's talking to me. I'm like, here, test drive EXP. Not all of the links will work because some of them are workplace, but many of them will, and they can play around and basically test drive it, what it's like to join. And also for you as a sponsor, I leverage, have a little fun. Part of our culture is fun, right? So I put Rich in the spotlight with his Carrera.
1989.
Or his neighbor's Carrera, but essentially like have it fun. I've got the state guides here, but encouraging people to test drive EXP, right?
Yeah.
And also encouraging our newer agents to share EXP, highlighting commercial and luxury. I've got the Trello board here, and a link for sharing. And then just, a warm welcome that we're really excited they're here. That's it.
That's awesome. I think the biggest thing is having one place to go to. And this is all public because Susanna is paying it forward, which is unbelievable. And I think the biggest thing, my takeaway would be go in there and learn it yourself. Go in there and click these links and know where these things are, because most of you do not even know where these things are on your own, to be able to access them to show somebody else. And then you could pull it up while you're having a conversation with somebody if they have one pain point or one thing that's really important to them. What a great resource to be able to just have easy access and share. Those of you that have access to EXP Family Tree under Rich and I, we have sent you all the onboarding, which is a similar concept. It's all in one place. So, I think the biggest thing is you just have to save a link and know where to go to, and whatever's more visually appealing for you, so that you feel attracted to it. So you'll use it is really the most important thing. But apparently, you don't have to reinvent the wheel completely. You can pull some of these things to make your own, of course, but what a great opportunity. So I think the link, Susanna, is Explore EXP with me, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Explore EXP with me. If you guys were trying to look for that link, that's what that is. Just so you can take a peek through it. What questions do you guys have? So before I ask you any questions, because I have a couple, Susanna, I'm going to see if anybody else has any. Unmute yourself, chat in the chat box if you do, first and foremost. So Iva, the link, the link is Explore EXP with me. Iva just had a question. Paula.
Yes. So I was just wondering, because I have yet to done any, I don't track any of my leads. I just keep them private. So how long does it usually take for you to get a hold of the system? How long did it take you to learn it 100%? Or did you get to that point? Or do you think that I should pass that over to my assistant, or I don't know?
Do you mean for recruiting leads, Paola, or for real estate leads?
So all of the leagues, because the
Okay.
KV Core, I've been trying to get into it, but I just don't have any time. Right now, I don't know if you guys have seen me, but I'm printing out my book because I start school tomorrow again for the real estate in Puerto Rico. So it's just I have so much going on, and I want to add this. This is something that I really do want to add to my list of to-do lists. So I need to really explore it, but I just don't have the time. So I'm just trying to see how much it would take roughly to understand it, to be able to teach it to my assistant.
So KV Core, your assistant can certainly do a lot of the trainings. KV Core, if you go to Inside Real Estate on YouTube, they have a tremendous amount of really great videos. So you could task your assistant to go learn for sure. If your assistant is licensed, or if they can log in, with your login, they can go into some of those KV Core workplace rooms and they can actually learn. So you could certainly leverage it. You can have you can have the support at KV Core import all your leads, and they will do that for you as an EXP agent when you join the system, and there isn't a charge. It usually takes a few days, or your admin can do it if they just learned how. So I think the first thing I would do, and Susanna, I'd like some input from you too, because you're a producing agent as well, is I would get your real estate leads in KV Core and get your admin to help you get it organized. And then you do have to take some time to learn it. So you're just going to have to time block, whether it's half an hour, 3 days a week or whatever. You just have to kind of make it a priority to sustain your business, especially if you're going to start doing it in Puerto Rico and in Ohio. You're going to need to have time blocking just set aside for some of that stuff. So you have to see, what am I spending so much time on now, and how can I maybe re-time block? That would just be the coach in me telling you that, because there is enough time. It's just a matter of what are you already spending too much time on, maybe, that you could eliminate to make these priorities important in your business and life. And then to Susanna's, what I would do is I would just grab this link from Susanna and take time to learn it. Just go one link at a time, learning all the things.
Is that the Explore EXP with me? Okay, I wrote it down.
Yep, exploreexpwithme.com, because then you can just take, if you could take one section a week, one section a day, one section 3 times a week, that's up to you. Time block it and just spend time looking through those things. I think you'll get up to speed and learn really quickly. And then you're showing up on these calls now, so you're going to learn a lot from these conversations too. That just takes a little bit of time. But the more you engage with KV Core and have success, the more you engage in these meetings and EXP as a whole, it's going to just be very natural for you to begin talking to people about it, because you're using it to benefit your own business. That's the first step. You have to use this company to benefit your own business. Otherwise, how do you talk to other people about how it's going to benefit theirs, right? Right, exactly, Susanna? Yeah. Anything I'm missing?
No, I would agree completely. And the Trello board is like I said, it's an advanced bookmark. Just poke around to see what's there. And just be curious. Every time I get something from Rich or from Cari, or somebody shares the team model, I upload it there. So, there's a lot of stuff buried in there that people often scramble, where's this?
Yeah.
Right? Where do I find this? There's a lot of information links and
That's me
PDF.
all the time.
Yeah, and then I'm a big fan of KV Core. I would start like in my welcome guide, start with that training that is right there on your dashboard, because I don't do it the way I did. I got intimidated by KV Core. I paid somebody way too much money to set it up for me, and it was just a generic setup. I was using Boomtown actually. So getting prepared to pull the plug on Boomtown, then I dove into my KV Core and I'm like, oh my God, I did it backwards. You know, I should have just, as you said, that training module, they're like 2-3 minute videos, you know, so you can just take a little small bite at a time and go through it. And then what I did was I just paused and implemented what they taught me, you know. And then Anthony's masterminds are like half an hour. I just blocked, he was doing them every day at 8:30 in the morning, and my husband started missing his voice because he's like, where's your friend? Because he heard Anthony's voice every morning.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah,
Susanna, how long is it you guys completely cut the cord from Boomtown?
I did.
How long were you with them before you did that?
2 years.
We've been with Commissions Inc. for like a bazillion years and have like 18,000 leads in that system, prospects in that system. And my husband is so committed to keeping it. He does not want to let it go. And I'm tired of giving them $30,000 a year to like hang on to a database. I'm like, dude, we got to just cut the cord and move on. Like, it's going to be okay. And he's got this scarcity mindset that he's not. And so I'm trying to find like positive examples of cut the baby loose and you're not going to die. Like, it's going to be okay. We're going to survive.
Yeah.
Well, I've had the same fear because I had high net worth leads. I had some luxury clients convert. I closed about $8 million in 2 years with them directly. You know, it's a high cost per lead, but it was successful. So I was very, very nervous about doing that. And
did you do a mass import from Boomtown into KV Core?
I did, but you know, what I did was I set a goal, and so I had them in parallel. You know, I didn't just pull the plug. And I also worked on my KV Core site so that it looked better.
Gotcha, better value.
It's like inviting your high net worth clients over.
Sure.
Like, oh, I have a new office.
Gotcha.
I wanted to attract the same people, have them feel comfortable, you know. And so working on the look and feel of the site, as well as on the back end, importing them. You know, so it's been a many process, gradual, before I finally pulled the plug. And I don't have 18,000, but I had like, I think 5,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. You don't want to, you know, they're expensive. You don't want to lose them.
Some good ones, you know, that I didn't want to lose in the drift, you know. So I would just put a plan together and work on it, you know. And then I didn't know this, but then, you know, KV Core Inside Real Estate acquired Boomtown.
He did just recently.
Recently, I pulled the plug at end of the year.
That's right.
So I do believe that the technology in Boomtown, because I'm not real fond of the blog technology on KV Core. However, I think some of the strengths of Boomtown are going to be integrated into KV Core in the future. And so it's worth investing as a platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very interesting. You know, it's always nerve-wracking to adopt a new CRM. There's no doubt about it. I know that there's been people who have done them run two side by side simultaneously for a while to get used to the new one. And since KV Core is free, well, it's included, right? Then it's not super expensive to do that. So could you run both side by side for a little bit to have that comfort level and slowly, you know, make that transition? That might be an easier path for some. I know some people have done that.
Yeah. And then what
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Susanna.
Helen, and what I did was I did my January newsletter because I'm also getting licensed in New Jersey, you know, new year, new state, new site, right? And made it like tried to make it like a big rollout. Like, and because of the artificial intelligence, it's actually a much better experience, you know, like by doing that $15 a month add-on where, you know, especially Helen, and you know, in our area, they're looking for school districts and amenities like the train station, restaurants, walk to work in the suburbs. So it's very relevant here to be able to get a heat map to have them, just let them know it's like Netflix is smart. It's
Yeah.
going to start ranking the home. So I try to make it as if I'm giving them something better. Right.
Yeah. So somebody asked what your front facing website domain is. First and foremost, everybody has a KV Core. If you signed up for it when you joined, you all have a KV Core website. Some people don't even know that they have it. And you can point a domain if you want to, like Susanna has. She has her name. So she purchased the domain and you point it to that. So you can go ahead and look at her, susannakunkel.com. If you log into your KV Core, even if you've done nothing with it, up at the right-hand corner, you're going to see a little icon when it drops down that will say your website. And it's typically your first last name at exprealty.com, I believe. That's what they have as everybody's, or there might be a variation if your name is common or something like that. So look and see what that is. You click that, it's going to take you to your own website. It's already there, searchable by your MLSs that you signed up for and everything. It's just not customized yet. You have unlimited landing pages, really unlimited customization within it, just for the $85 a month that we pay here. Most people just don't know about it. And if you already have a domain that maybe you pointed somewhere else, you can point it to this once you've got that up and running. So take a look and just see what it looks like for yourself, and make a few small edits even, and you could be out there sharing that with people now,
And Helen, and to your point, I had another domain for the Boomtown. So once that was dead, I had that redirected over to my KV Core.
Exactly. So you don't lose it. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. A lot of our people are redirected. So yes, but through the domain names, that's perfect.
Ooh, I love your sparkle shirt.
Thank you.
What other questions? Unmute yourselves. Don't be shy. What other systems have you put in place for maybe the revenue share growth? What have you thought about? What are you working on? Lisa, I see you unmuted. Hello.
Oh, hi, I love everything that you've done here, Susanna. So you've got your systems in place. My question is, who are you reaching out to so that you have, when you have access to all this stuff right at your fingertips? What is your strategy regarding reaching out to agents that are not yet at EXP? Everybody has a different way of doing it, and I'm sort of beginning at it. So I'm curious what kind of success you've had now that you've got all these systems in place, and who are you reaching out to?
Well, I appreciate that. I'm really a beginner, and so when I'm in these rooms, I'm humbled by other people's success. But I will tell you, going to EXP Con really inspired me, because I was so moved by the culture too. And I want to share this. All right. And I came back, and yet I want people to feel comfortable. I want them to have a good onboarding experience. I want to be a good sponsor. And I recognize, for me, I put this in the video, that what I really feel like part of the whole, and this is what Family Tree feels, because I've met a lot of agents through Clubhouse and other networking with EXP who feel kind of lost out there, and they maybe had a big name sponsor who's in the stars and blah, 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 but there was nobody that really cared about their business. And we can't personally coach. A sponsor's not a coach. However, I look back on my first trip to Japan in the 90s, the old Japanese ladies, the aunties, they showed me what noodles to buy, and, or the first time I went to New York when I was 19 and my sister took me around. This was, we didn't have GPS then. It was I had a map secretly. I didn't want to look like a tourist. All the city skills and what block by block is different. Joining EXP is like that. It's like, if you're not willing as a sponsor to be that tour guide, to be that lifeline, it's like being dropped by helicopter in a foreign country and you can't read the signs.
Yeah, it's a great example.
So, Family Tree fills that gap, but I wanted, my commitment as a sponsor, I'm sure better sponsors, but just to say in my group, that's what I provide. And these tools are to provide that. And for me to feel confident and have a full integrity that somebody joins with me, that they'll feel supported, that they'll feel guided, that I don't have to have the answers.
Yes.
I think Rich mentioned that this morning. It's direct them, like I direct people to Cari's coaching, I direct them to Family Tree. I show them the education calendar. And these automated things like the welcome are designed to do that as well. And that it can you know, I don't know if you've ever traveled, but when you're going somewhere where you don't know where you're going, it seems like a very long trip, but then on the way home, it's really fast, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Not in Kansas anymore, right, Crystal? So the value of having something that's not necessarily the one-on-one conversation, because maybe I'm not available, but that they could bookmark and then they can go to, because, you know, we get that slurpy brain freeze when we're overloaded with information.
I
It's like,
love that. That's so cute.
I know it's somewhere. I know she told me it's over here, but where was that? You know, so me personally, I have this hashtag be like Rich. I have my little book. I have my agents. I'm starting to have coffee. You know, have people I'm committed to reaching out to. So I'm still in the baby steps myself.
Well, what I
got
love
well
about
set up.
this, yeah, Lisa, what I love about this is I think you're very similar to Susanna in a lot in your personality, which I think is great because you're really systematized and organized. So if you use this site, you know, the biggest thing is that the beauty is we have each other and we don't all have to be everything to everyone, but if we can do our small part and then we can guide people to the right resources, then we feel really good about what we're doing. Oftentimes people don't need like me to do things for them. They just need me to answer them to where to go. And then they are like on it and they're doing it. And it's great. So at first I felt the same way, Susanna. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to be everything to everyone and learn everything and do everything. And then I realized people are very resourceful and they actually want to learn on their own. They just don't want to have to spend hours trying to figure it out. If they could just text me, call me, or there was a system or I could point them somewhere, then I would be very valuable and helpful to them, right? So I think that is really good. And then, you know, for other systems that have helped me, and I don't know if this, you know, having the one place to go to and being able to, I'm so grateful that Susanna shared that link, being able to learn through that or use that as we're talking to people or point people to certain links will be fantastic. I mean, that's all you need to do. Be the tour guide, be the director to point people and then let them know if you aren't getting what you need, let me know and we'll help you. But here's where you go to for that, because then you're teaching them to learn so they truly engage and optimize this unbelievable company. Because if we just tell them the answers, we're not allowing them to experience it. And then we're actually doing them a disservice, right? So how do we help them experience it, but do it in a way that's not overwhelming and that's faster so that they don't have to, because what happens is if they have to search too long, then they get uninspired and then they just don't look anymore and then they're done. So we just have to get them to that middle point where it's like, it doesn't take too long and you can go get involved and, oh, this is awesome. And now I can help other people see it too. And now you're building people around you that are using the systems so that you're not the only one that can answer those questions. And then that's the power of the group, because some people are going to get really good at KV course. Some people are going to get really good at workplace. Some people are going to get really good at these different things. And then if you have them all in this big group, it's like, oh, you know what? You should talk to Candace because she's really good at that. And she's in our group. She'd love to help you, because Candace can tap into the group and get helped by somebody else. And so that's where this beauty of this collaboration can really come into play, I think. Don't you, Susanna? You're probably already seeing it manifest a bit.
You can say it better. And that's the reciprocal collaborative culture. I had to crack up when I saw Emma News quote the CEO of Compass saying something about you can't have culture and work from home. And I'm like, offices don't make culture, people do, you know, and we have such a broad, open, collaborative culture here, and that is invaluable.
Yeah, I love it. But if you have a system, then everybody can tap into it, find the things they need, and then you can facilitate that conversation of helping each other. But that's really what Family Tree has done. Look at Susanna, what she has been able to do and how she's willing to share. And then what Rich is doing on Monday mornings to answer questions and what we're doing in our trainings. It's like everybody can tap into the pieces that matter to them. Makes a really big difference.
I just discovered, I don't know if you want me to share it. I took a screenshot. Like, let me just show you tactically, like you're asking how to, I did it on Facebook just last night. An agent that I adore had, no, that's not it. That's the Eagles. Had been venting about crime eminently. I can't find it. Sorry.
That's okay.
But anyway, he'd been venting about how tough it is he's 32, just turned 32. He's in my heart and on my radar about being a Black realtor and how that is, right? You know, and I took the link from my KV core, copied it, put it in my comment to him. It's like giving him some love and say, we need to talk. right? And it comes up with a QR code and a link. I was like, wow, I didn't know it would come up that way. But when you have these things as links, you can easily include it in a text or a message to somebody that you're talking to. And, I think the more that people can unpack and explore without feeling sold, everybody's afraid of being sold on EXP. So the more that they can dig around and, in support of the conversations you're having, this technology isn't to replace it, but to support the conversations.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Any comments on that or thoughts? Does this help you all feel like, okay, I don't have to, in order to be a leader or to bring people to EXP, I don't have to be like a broker owner and do all the things for them. I don't have to be a team leader in a traditional sense. I can really be someone who cares about people, other agents, the people I have relationships with. I can bring my value to the partnership and relationship, but there's so much more I could do to set up an ecosystem around me that brings people value, that it's not the heavy lifting just on me. I would like that to be the message, because I think that's what holds most of us back, is that we think we have to do everything and be everything to everyone, and we don't have enough time for that, especially if we're still selling real estate. Maybe we don't even really have the desire to be that person, right? And that's okay. Maybe we love selling real estate and helping our clients, but we do get called to maybe pay it forward a bit in this industry. And we really just, quite frankly, feel blessed by EXP. So we'd like people to know about it. You can set up a system around yourself to where you can just simply have resources to show people what's important to them. I think that's a really great message today.
You know what I appreciate, Susanna, this is Becky. I appreciate the fact that you put this together and shared it, because I've been in EXP since end of October, November-ish, but really diving in just in January. And I find that talking with agents sometimes is almost like when you're first in the business and you know what to do to get listings, but you don't do it because you're like, oh gosh, what if I get it?
Yeah.
Right? What do I do with the listing when I get it? And I was reminded of that because my husband is just getting in the business and he just got a really amazing listing and he's like, oh gosh, now what? And so talking to agents for me has been a little bit like that, right? It's like, okay. And then they ask a question like, I'm not sure. So I love that you shared this. And I think the one thing everyone could go do right now that would help just remove that 100% is just to take what you've done and just absolutely, just lean into it and use it as a resource. I mean, that way, if you learn where the things are in the different Trello groups, when someone asks a question, you can say, you know what, I'm glad you asked that. I'm going to send something over to you. Whereas before it's like, I'll send it over to you. And then you're like, oh my gosh, where is it? And you're looking for it. So this is I don't know about anybody else on this call, but for me, and I actually feel like I'm pretty good at recruiting. This is like a weight lifted off. I've just been sitting here going through the whole Trello board. It's just incredible. Thank you so much.
Oh, and thank you guys for, I'll share with you, when I came home from EXPCon, I was all fired up. My goal was 40 agents this year, right? On my vision board, that's changed to 400. You're helping me think big.
I love it. Well, see, this is the beauty, is that you're willing to share this, and hopefully we're willing to continue to share everything we're learning. And if somebody does something with this and you guys find it to be really valuable, please come back and share it with Susanna and the rest of us, because that's how we make this everything gets better and better and better and better, because we share it with each other and we all start using it in our own ways. It truly is a blessing that Susanna is willing to share this with us, but it's also a testament to the collaboration of this company, because in a lot of companies, Susanna would just keep that to herself because there'd really be she wouldn't even think about it. She'd just be doing her own thing. Not that she's a greedy person, but if you're not in an environment of collaboration, you don't always think about it. You're just doing your business and your head's down and you're not being poured into and you're not really pouring into other people. But we're in such an environment that people are always doing that to us. And we're like, how can we pay it forward? And it's just a beautiful thing because it makes us feel really good. And it helps us to be a better version of ourselves, because no matter what, Susanna's going to hit her 400, whether we use her Trello board or not. Like, she's still going to be better. I hope that we can help her, send more people to my training, Susanna, so that you can take that heavy lifting off of you. And I'm so grateful that some of my people can use your Trello board. So it's like, such a great opportunity to work together. And you're just a great example of this. And the other takeaway is if you haven't been to EXPCon yet, you should. So start planning for that, coming up in this fall, because I know, there's been a number of people on this call that have gone, and then it has just been a light bulb moment for them, coming back with some new energy of feeling it in person and really experiencing it in a way that's outside of technology is really, really impactful for a lot of people. And selfishly, I'd like to see you all in person. So that's the other reason why I want you to go. And Susanna, we have to make sure that we meet up in person. So Helen Ann and I met up in the pool. Didn't we, Helen Ann?
That's
We saw
right.
each other.
That's
It was
right. A little fun in the sun.
It was awesome. So we got to catch up there. So, I really would encourage that. That was the second takeaway I had. Does anybody else have any other takeaways or aha moments or things to share? Because this has been truly amazing. But I want to give a few more minutes if anybody has anything else.
I want to second your recommendation, and I'll say, Philadelphia EXP is we're still just babies. Like Pennsylvania has a good presence, but not Philadelphia. So I have been pretty much on my own, or felt that way, with some strong support from North Carolina. So I know there's a lot of agents across the country where you might feel geographically isolated, even though you feel supported here. So going to EXPCon was such an eye-opener, not just because of what you typically get at a conference, but seeing the company culture. And I recognize, I would say one of my big takeaways, because I went to several KW conferences, was it's a different culture because it was a conference of business owners. And, really getting that mindset is so different, and the diversity, the openness, people from Glenn down, everybody is like, just ask, we'll help you. Right. And it made me want to recruit, made me want to share from my heart, this beautiful company with a unique business opportunity.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. That was the biggest aha for me, because I had gone to many conventions of, my past real estate company for years. And I think the biggest difference was it really was a feeling of the agents are front and center of everything of that entire event. And when you realize I'm a shareholder, I'm an agent owner, and so are all these people, and holy cow, the energy is different. We really are trying to help each other here, and we are really doing some cool things together. It's definitely a different feeling about being an agent owner. And I think you come back wanting other people that you like to be an agent owner with you, and that genuine passion or interest in helping others and paying it forward and really bringing them into something that has changed your mindset around your real estate business is more authentic, and it's going to help you have more authentic and real conversations with more people and give you the confidence to do that. At the end of the day, then, have the ability to help more people, which I think most of us want to do. That's where this really stems from. So this is amazing. Susanna, thank you for spending time. Thank you for all the work you've put into this. Thank you for sharing your story. I think that you've impacted many people in this call. We've had a lot of people watching live on EXP Family Tree. I can guarantee you're going to continue to impact people that watch this later. And you're just a blessing to EXP Family Tree. So thank you very much for doing this and for being willing. And I hope you all take this and do something with it. Do something with the motivation and inspiration you got today. Do something with the Trello board. Go learn something new. I think it's a way that we can, pay it forward ourselves, is just by being a better version of ourselves inside EXP to first and foremost start, and then get out there and continue to make this company bigger and better for all of us. And that's going to help Susanna and everybody else, right? So Susanna, if there's anything any of us can ever do, of course, I know you leverage EXP Family Tree, but if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know. And you guys, if you do start using this and you have some new fresh ideas, or it's, you're using it in a way, post an EXP Family Tree, tag Susanna, tag me, let's continue to use this space to just be better together, because we're all going to have our unique ideas and things that are going to work for us. And I think it's just awesome if we're willing to continue to contribute and share what we're doing. So
I will put one thing out there, if you want something added, just send it to me. I'll add it in, no
Awesome.
problem. Very easy. It's so much easier to do than to try and teach somebody to do that.
Yeah. So if you send a link or something like that, hey, I didn't notice this was on there. You could send it to her in work chat, obviously at her own time frame, she'll do that, which is just amazing. But what a great opportunity. And Susanna, if there's anything that, we can even help you with, if you're getting a lot of these requests, please reach out to me. Maybe my VA could help you or something, because I don't want this to be all on you. I want to contribute in some way. So And also, by the way, you might not find something. You might say to Susanna, hey, could you put this link? And she might say, oh, it's already buried in there somewhere. Go find it. Here it is. Because it's a lot of information. So make sure you spend your time looking through it before you ask too many questions of her. But thank you guys for being here. Susanna, thank you for bringing a new, fresh perspective to how we can learn and grow and help other people through our revenue share. Really appreciate it. If you guys have other questions, you know where to reach all of us. And I'll go ahead and post this link underneath the live stream as well, just so that you have that public link from Susanna there. And it will be up on my YouTube probably in about 24 hours. Susanna, I'll send you a copy, okay? Thanks, everybody. Make it a great
Thank
week.
you.